the first beginner level project on data science, and in this we need to make a supervised learning machine learning model to predict a score of students based on the number of hours he or she studies. So we are going to firstly import all the libraries of Python which are useful for this data science. Import NumPy as NP, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and for making the linear regression model, we import linear model from Scikit-Learn library. Now, second is we imported the CSV file, and here is the data set which you can see. That is only 2 variable data sets, so it's not very difficult to solve. That is hours and scores. Now we'll plot the graph of graph to see the variation, how the plot varies with change in number of hours, how the score varies. So we used Matplotlib for that, and plt.x level and plt.y level to level x-axis and y-axis of the graph, and then plt.scatter to plot the graph. And here we got the graph. From the graph, it is clearly visible to us that the linear regression model can work in this case. Now, we are dividing the data set into two parts, that is x and y, so that we can do the prediction. So x equals to df.drop scores axis column. So we are dropping the score column from the data set, and the only hours data set is considered as x. Now we are considering the score column as y. Now making the linear model regression. So regression equals to linear model dot linear regression, and then we are fitting our x and y which we made from the data into this linear regression model. Now by this linear regression function, our model is trained using x and y, and we can predict any scores based on how many hours, based on the number of hours student studies or not. So we are predicting here for 9.25 hours, what's the score? So the score comes out to be 92.90%. And since it is a linear regression model, so the graph is a linear plot, and it must be in the form of y equals to mx plus c, and hence we are finding out the coefficient and intercept of the linear curve, and here it is. Now plotting the linear curve along with the scatter plot. So line equals to reg dot coefficient into x plus reg dot intercept y equals to mx plus c. And here this is our linear regression model, and these are the real data, scatter plot of the real data. And based on this linear regression model, we are predicting the score based on the number of hours student studies. Let us now see it in a different way by using test, train, and split method. So here, this is something add-on. Our main problem statement is completed till here only. So from linear, from sklearn.model selection, import test and split, and we are dividing x and y in the form of test and train by splitting it into two parts, as the test size should be 0.2, that is 20% of the whole x and y. Like the x test should be 20% of the whole x, and y test should be 20% of the whole y, like that. And the remaining should be train values. So x train would comes this, and x test is this, y train is this, and y test is this. So now in this train, test, and split method, we are considering 80% of the data to train and remaining 20% to test our model, whether how much accurate our model is. So we have created our model CLF, linear regression model, with 80% of the data only, and fitted it, and hence we predict our x test now. And we can now compare it with the y test, whether how much deviation it is. So you can easily see the data are deviated. There is deviation, and it is normal to have deviation. And now CLF.score is what is the score of this model? That is 90%, 90.7%. Now predicting the 9.25 hours, score of 9.25 hours is 92.11% here. And in the last case where we train the model with all the data was 92.90%. So this was higher than test train split wala method. Why? Because here we consider all the data, and in the case of test train split method, we consider only 80% data to train. So this is the basic beginner level problem statement on data science for training our machine learning model to predict the values. Thank you so much.